Hey guys, welcome back to another video tutorial. In this video we're going to discuss about how to build an AI chatbot using React, tailwind CSS and also ChatGPT API to give us a response. So let's take a look at the project that we will be building during the video. So the first feature is dark and light mode. The next feature is the sidebar. You can click on it to hide and display the sidebar. The next one is the message. You can send the message. AI will give you a response. Let's say hello. I just use hello. I'm getting the message. Let's say I select another message, then my previous message has been appeared in the sidebar. Let's say I would say how to or what is different between const and let JavaScript, like this. So this is my message and this is the AI message, right? So yeah, it is very cool. And let's say I'm going to close the browser, open it, and as you can see, my data is appear in the local storage. I can see my previous project. I can delete it. I can use clear all chat to display another thing inside the application. So guys, I will teach you how you can build it from scratch. So before building that, I will use a simple React and also tailwind CSS to design that. Once I will design it, then I will teach you how you can use the logic to build this one application from scratch. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started to work on that. So guys, I have successfully designed the application, but inside the application have many other things that we're gonna use it to build a fully functional based application. So before using the logic to make a beautiful design, I would like to use the context API. Inside the context API, I will use the API to get the data from the ChatGPT, and we're gonna use it. So without further ado, let's get started to work on that. So I go to my code editor. I'm gonna remove all of the things. So here is a source. I would say config folder. Inside the config folder, I will create a file like config.js. Right. The next thing we need to export const config object. Inside that, I'm going to use open API key. Alright, so I would use the API key on there. The next one, right now I'm going to use nothing by default. OpenAI model, I would be like to use GPT 3.5 turbo. The max tokens should be 2000, and temperature should be 0.7. So I need to get the API key and we're gonna use it. So let's use simple thing. Just use Google ChatGPT API key and open it. And give me a second, I just log in it and then I'm going to show you. So once you log in your account, then you need to move on dashboard. In the left side, have API key selected and you can create it. So I'm going to create API key, and then you need to write any name. I'm going to use Chatbot like this. Create a secret API key, copy it, and we're going to use it like that. Remove the space. Now inside the next thing, I would be create a folder context. I will use the context API guys for this project. Alright, so in the context folder, I would like to create a app context.jsx. Right, the basic thing. I know how to use that. The first thing I would say const app context, create a context like this. Then I need to create a custom hook to use app context like this. Write the export, create a function, use app const, write the use context, and you need to pass your variable which is coming from there. Alright, then you should be use if the context doesn't exist, then I would like to display the error. Throw new error, and use must be used within app provider. Alright, and the next and final thing we need to use return context. So let's create another function, app state provider. I would say export const app provider, and it should be children, and I will show you how you can use it. Alright, reason for using children because when I will use it inside this one, I will create many functions, so I will be using it outside of the application. So let's take a look at then how you can do that. Alright, so first step I would say load conversation from local storage. Const make states when this state will be used. By default I would like to use local storage.get method. I will create a set method on later. This time you need to use get method. Write the name conversations and then just use return. If the saved is exist, just get the json.parse answer. Otherwise I need to display only on empty array. Alright, then storage. Alright, so let's create another state, active conversation id set active conversation id user state, and just use return local storage.get active conversation id, otherwise nothing. Let's move on and we're going to create a state is loading set is loading. User state by default is false. Then load sidebar state from local storage. Sidebar open set sidebar open. User state, and I would say const set local storage sidebar open. Same thing, if this saved is exist, give me a json.parse and saved, otherwise I need to display the tree. Right, just use tree. Why this is happening on there? Give me a second and let me check. Yeah, it's perfect. And this saved okay, and the mistake is I need to use colon on it. Let's move on and we're gonna use API key model open. It is not important because I just leave it, guys. So I will use another way. When the page will be loaded, I need to get the API key from local storage. Okay, from local storage. Const API key set API key. I would say user state and like a function just written local storage.get item API key. Otherwise I need to get the file like this one and we will use it. Alright, so let's destruct the config from config folder. Okay, import. Alright, so this is a config folder and this is a config object. I just targeted and destruct them. Alright, so let's see if the API keys exist inside the local storage, then I need to get that. Otherwise I need to get it from config dot open API key, like this. So let's use them. So I have used get method of the conversation, active conversation ID, sidebar, API key. When the page will be loaded, I will be use effect hook. The first one, I would say conversation. When the conversation will be changed, this use effect will be executed. So I would say local storage set item and write the item name. So I would say conversation, and we need to convert it into JSON.stringify and passing it conversation. This is basically state name, right? And this is your local storage name. Yeah, great. So let's move on, and we're gonna create the same thing, use effect. Basically I also mentioned it is comment save conversion to local storage. Alright, so I'm gonna make a copy and I just change it. Save active session ID to local storage. I would like to change a few things inside there. Give me a second. First one is I use active conversation ID state. When this will be changed, and if active conversation ID is exist, then I would say set item with the name of active conversation ID, like this, and inside there I would like to use active conversation ID. Alright, and the else statement. Okay, here is the else statement block. In the else statement, I need to use local storage that remove item, like this. Alright, so yeah, this is my next one. Let's create another use effect which handle the sidebar. When the page will be loaded, it will be display and hide the sidebar. Alright, so send sidebar state to local storage. Use effect local storage dot set items and not items, item. Okay, so where I use the get method. Yeah, so I'm going to use set sidebar open, like this, and JSON.stringify sidebar open state, which is stored on the top, like this. And when the sidebar state will be changed, this use effect will be executed. The last and final thing is all about API key, but it is all about use effect. Okay, but we're gonna work on another functions. Alright, so this will help us save API key to local storage. So I would like to use API key state, which is stored on the top, like this. And the next one is I need to use set item API key text, like this. And inside there I need to pass. I don't need to use JSON.stringify. I need to use simple thing is API key. This is also state name, right? So guys, let me repeat that like one by one. When the page will be loaded, I have used the state conversation. When the page will be loaded, I need to get the data from local storage with the name of conversation and store it in the saved variable. If this saved is exist, then I need to use JSON.parse, means convert the data into JSON format. Otherwise nothing. And same thing have inside there. I also mentioned the active conversation ID to get the data from local storage. These get methods are used on the top, and when I will use the use effect, I have used set method, means when the page will be load to store the data with the name of particular name inside the local storage. When these state will be changed, then we will perform many operations. Alright, so let's create a function which are used to create a new conversation. Alright, create a new conversation. Const create conversation, new ID, data now to string, new conversation object, and I'm going to pass the ID as a key. The value is new ID. The next one is title, should be by default is new chat, message by default nothing, and also I need to use created at new dat to as a string. Alright, okay. After the new conversation object, I need to use set conversation state. Basically it is function. I will say previous, make an array, passing the new conversation, comma, make a copy of the previous. And also I need to use set active conversation. This is also a state function. And I'm going to passing it as a new ID variable like this. That's it. This function is used to create a new conversation. Alright, so let's create another function. Delete conversation. So with the help of ID, I can delete the conversation. So I would like to use delete conversation. Passing the parameter is ID. I will be use set conversation state, make a copy. I need to create a function with the name of I just call the set conversation basically function. Inside there I'm going to pass the parameter. By using set conversation function and passing the parameter, I need to check the ID will match or not. So I would say previous dot filter con, whatever the name you will be passing there, con dot id is not equal to our parameter id. Then I use if active conversation id is matched with id, then I would say set active conversation id should be nothing. That's it. This function is used to delete the conversation. Let's move on. And the next one is clear all conversation. Const clear all conversation. And I would say set conversation by default is let me check it, conversation, yeah, conversation, but also I need to use conversation is best. Okay, and I will update it when I will use it. Okay, here I need to use conversation and conversations. All right, and by default nothing. Then set active conversation id should be null, and also I need to use local storage storage that remove items conversation. Let me check the name of the conversation. So I'd like to delete it. Local storage, remove item, active conversation ID. Alright, basically I build the logic inside the context API. I will use them on our particular component. If I need let's say if I need the create a conversation, I just call this one function inside my any component I need, if I need. Alright, so what am I doing there? Clear conversation. So let's move on, and we're gonna create add a message to a conversation. Right now I do not use any API usage in there. I just make a structure of the functions that I will use inside the application. Alright, so let's create a function add message. This should be pass conversation ID and message, and I will say set conversation state, passing the parameter, and I would say previous dot map con let's use this name. So it means con.id match with conversation ID, which is coming from the parameter. Then I would say make a copy of the con and assign the message value should be con.message and also the message. Otherwise I need to get only on con. Alright, so we are almost done, guys. We will be using them by creating this, basically these functions, guys. Alright, so this is this section, so I need to update conversation title. If I change the title, const update conversation title, same thing, I'm going to pass on the conversation ID. I would like to use same thing. This is a conversation, right? So I'd say and the next one is title. This is a little bit of tricky, guys, so you must be see how you can do them. So I would say set conversation, passing the parameter, and I would say previous dot map con.id is matched with conversation ID. Then I would say make a copy of can, and title should be coming from the title.length greater than 30. I need to display the limited title. Alright, so greater than 30, so I would say title.substring, basically it is JavaScript function, 0 to 30 characters. And also I need to use ... but inside there I'm facing issue, so I would like to use double quotation. Otherwise I need to display the title, not this one, but also I need to use title. Title, and if give me a second, title, why this message, okay, problem isn't there, guys. In the last one I would say otherwise I need to display only on the con. but also has some issues. So this is okay. Alright guys, I just used else statement outside of the curly bracket. This else statement is coming from this one and this else if this, and here's else statement. Alright, so yeah, we will create a last one function guys. Const get current conversation. So just return conversations dot find conversation ID match with active conversation ID, like this. So guys, we are successfully designed, basically build all of the functions that are needed. The next one is you need to use const value, and inside there you need to destruct all of the functions, all of the states that are need to use with another application, another component. All right, so give me a second, I just import them one by one. So guys, I have used all of the functions, states, and all of the functionalities and assigned the variable, and here is the object. I have used all of the things that I've used on the top step by step, like get conversation, update conversation, add message, clear all conversation, or delete conversation, and all of the functions states I have assigned inside the object with the name of value. The next and final thing you need to use, return app context dot provider, close it. Between that you need to pass your children this one on there, and the next one is you need to pass this variable as a value. That's it. Then you are good to go to use this one app context with any component as you want. But before using it, you should be configure your app.js file. In the app.js file you should be use, I need to cut it, and I'm going to use app provider, and I just paste it like this. This app provider is coming from there, right? So let me show you on the top. As you can see, I use the app provider. I just pass it in the top of the my particular application. It means I can use any function inside this one component or any other component. I can do them. So let's create another basically guys function inside the app dot. Basically I will create a context API inside the theme theme context. This context API is used to handle the basically what it will handle the dark and light mode guys. So also I need it const theme context, same logic you can use it, create a context, custom help to use them, export context, use context, and I'm going to pass in theme context on there. Alright, and give me a second, I use export const use theme const context use context, passing the theme context. If the context doesn't exist, then I would say throw new L, use theme must be used within a provider, within theme provider. Alright, Also we need to use return context. Then we should be use export const theme provider, same logic, children. Inside there you need to use const is dark mode, set is dark mode, use instead const saved local storage dot get item. I would say theme return saved is exist to display the saved, otherwise display the dark. Should be true. All right, then the next one, I would like to use effect hook. Very simple thing, guys. Use effect if is dark mode is exist, then come into the if body. I'm going to use document element dot class list. What is class list dot add the dark class, and also I need to use local storage dot set item theme and dark. Also we need to use dark. All right, and in the else statement I would say copy and paste on there. I need to remove the dark mode and say theme, this should be light, and also I need to use this is not there. Let me use give me a second, I just got it. And this else, this is okay, and there I'm going to use empty dependency, right? And there I'm going to use dark mode. If the dark mode state will be changed, this use effect will be executed. The last and final thing we need to use const toggle theme function, and I just use set is dark mode is not to this, and use return theme context the provider, and the value should be destruct the is dark mode and toggle theme. Between them you should be pass children, which is coming from there. Alright guys, the last and final thing you should be use cut them, you should use theme provider and paste them. There we go. We are able to use our context API with our application. So let's use the logic step by step inside our application. All right, so guys, let's work on the chat interface, and we have context API files like app.context.js and theme context. So I need to get the data from there, and we're gonna use it inside one by one component. So the first thing you need to use const destruct is dark mode and toggle theme from use theme. This is a context. Inside there have where theme provider talk mode and toggle theme. Where is toggle theme? Like this one. I need to get them. The next one, I need to destruct active conversation ID and conversation. Let me check. This is coming from there. So what is the name of the state? Conversation. Where I use the states, conversation ID. Okay, conversation. So conversations, and the next set sidebar open. Let me check it. It is very important. Yeah, the state name is same. From use app customer. Alright, the next one you need to use const and current conversation from conversation states, like there, dot find. We need to find con ID equal to our active conversation ID. Means I would say the conversation and active conversation ID will be matched, then we will get the data inside the conversation. Alright, so let's use them inside our page. But before moving on the sidebar, I need to fix all of the conditional rendering, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, so here is the first step. Just remove this one and use is dark is exist, then assign this one. Otherwise we need to use page white. This is the header. In the header you should be use same logic, is dark is exist, and use, give me a second, I just use border B means bottom, and if the dark mode is exist, then I would say BG gray 950, border gray 800, and otherwise I would say border gray 200, BG white. So let's set up the toggle. In the toggle button I also mentioned that dark mode is exist, so when I hover that, BG gray 800, I hover BG gray 100. Alright, so also I'm gonna add the event. The event should be handle the sidebar, so I would say on click set sidebar, which is coming from my user custom hook, and we're gonna use it as a function not previous. Okay, let's move on, and we're gonna use the same logic is like this. Get that, and I'm gonna use it there. Is dark mode is exist, and I would say okay, give me a second, I need to cut it. Is dark mode is exist, then I would say, give me a second, let's say text by 300, text by 600. Alright, so this is a ChatGPT logo, and this is the content. So in the content I would say is dark mode is exist, text should be white, otherwise text should be gray 900. I'm gonna save the file. And what is next? Okay, here is the important thing, ChatGPT. I would like to display the content, I mean title, which user sent the message. Okay, I can't see anything else, I don't know why and what happened on there. App context is not defined. Okay, I will fix it, give me a second. So inside there I need to say current conversation title. I need to get the title and display on them. And last thing we should be, but before using it also, if there are no data, I would say ChatGPT is up here in the top of the header section. And same thing I'm going to do on there. This talk is exist. And how that BG gray BG gray 800, otherwise our BG gray 100. And also I'm going to mention that area level, and the area level is dark mode is exist. Switch to light mode, otherwise switch to dark mode. And when this is exist, I would like to display the sun, otherwise display the moon. Alright, and the moon icon I need to assign a class. The width should be 5, height should be 5, text gray 600. Alright, so let's fix the issue, which is use app. Let me check it. What is app context? Okay, the problem is, I think, is app. So the problem inside this one, guys, so we will fix it from React. Why this is happening? Give me a second, guys. This is a call import. It should be solve the problem. So I'm going to refresh my page and let's see what happened. Local storage gate is not a function. So line number 21, and let's look at that. Local storage. Get okay. The function name is get item. Alright, so I need to update them, and here's the same. Yeah, so I'm going to save the file and let's refresh the page and find another problem. Okay, local storage is not a function, so let's set it. Local storage set item, which line? 34. Okay, that's site item. Alright, so let's refresh the page. Load sidebar. And there I need to use get item, guys. There we go, guys. We are able to see the content. Alright, so I'm going to click on it. It doesn't work, and yeah, also it is not working right now because we will use the toggle theme on our button tag. So where I would use it, this is dark mode. Okay, I would say on click and passing the toggle theme like this. So I'm going to save the file. Let's try to use it. Look at that, guys. it is applied only on this one section. I need to work on that, then the same thing will be applied on there. Let's try to use it. It doesn't work, but when I will work on the sidebar, it should be display perfect. Alright, so we are successfully completed conditional rendering and displaying the particular messages. When user will click on the message like there, we would be able to see the content on there. But why I can't see this is a readable message? So let's see. A dark mode is exist. Okay. Then text byte is dark mode is exist. Let me open that. But in the dark mode I need to use, otherwise text should be gray. Why this is doesn't work? Okay, the problem is inside there, guys, so I'm going to remove it and look at that, guys. So also I need to fix one by one issues, guys. Alright, so let's move on, and I'm going to close it, close this one. Just open the sidebar. In the sidebar we will use same logic, but inside they have a lot of things we need to get them. The first thing is I need to use is dark mode from use theme. Alright, the next one I need to use construct conversations active. Let me open it, guys. I need them. So just conversation set active, and I'm gonna get them and I'm gonna paste on there. Conversation active, conversation ID, set, yeah, then create, delete, clear all. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste on there. From use app. Alright, and also we need to get the sidebar as well from there, guys. Where it is. Okay, here is sidebar. Open is not open. So I have many things inside there. Conversation active, conversation ID, set active. These are content, so I will use them inside this one page. So let's use that one by one. This is my main header. Inside there I need to use is dark mode, not dark mode, is sidebar is open, then I would say the width should be 64, otherwise width should be 0. Alright, and also I would like to use dark and light mode. Is dark mode is exist, then I'm going to use PG. But before using it, I need to hide or remove other things like this one, these details. Alright, because I will use that inside there. Gray 950, text should be white, border bottom, border gray 800, otherwise BG gray 50, text should be gray 900, border white, and border gray 200. Now save the file and look at that, guys. When I click on it, as you can see, right, let's move on, and this is my button inside there. I need to assign the function on click create a conversation. Let's say I click on it, it doesn't work. Create a conversation. Let's open the console and let's see. Let's set sidebar is another function. Chat, okay. Let me where it is. Line number 14. Where I use the set sidebar. Okay, the problem inside there, guys. So let me open that. Okay, so yeah, it is not a function, but I use it as a conditional based. Let's set side. Okay, I think the problem is inside the set sidebar. Alright, so let me check it inside the app context. Okay, I'm gonna get it, and yeah, this is my mistake, so I need to update it. So I think the problems will be solved. So let's click on it. Okay, it is working, as you can see, and when I refresh the page, it is working. But also I need to fix the issue inside the sidebar. The width should be 64, and give me a second. Also it should be 0. Let's try to use it. Look at that, guys. Alright, click on it. It doesn't work, but it is working, the sidebar. Alright, so let's move on. And the sidebar is perfect, but create a conversation doesn't work. Okay, let me update other things, then it should be display the conversation detail. Alright, so inside there I'm gonna use is dark mode is exist. Also I need to remove other things from there. Okay, yeah, is dark mode is exist. I'm gonna use border gray 800 BG gray 900. When I hover the mouse, I need to change the hover color. Should be like 800 text should be white. Otherwise I should be able to use text border gray 300 BG white, however that BG gray 100. I'm gonna save the file, and yeah, it is perfect, and it should be display the content, but we need to update that. So here is a conditional based rendering. So what I'm gonna do on there, I need to use cut it, use conversations dot length is equal to 0, then display that. Otherwise I need to display that content like this one. Alright, so I'm going to remove that, and we will update the, give me a second, conditional rendering, no conversation yet, yeah, and I will be using inside there is map method. So conversation.map, you can write any name as you want inside the parentheses, but I'm going to use conversation, and I just use written this content. Alright, so we're gonna update the content like this. Is our what conversation.title, conversation.title. It should be in display the content, but also we need to change the conditional based color combinations. The first one is, I would say, is dark mode is exist, then I would say BG gray 800 border gray 700, otherwise BG gray 200 border should be gray 300. And also I also mentioned another conditional rendering as well. First I'm going to save that, and I'm going to show you Then I would say is dark mode exist, then say BG, oh, first one is BG greater 900, otherwise BG greater 100. And also I need to add the event inside this one section. So this is the starting div, this is the closing div. In the closing, before closing div, I'm going to use onClick event, write the function, use set active conversation, and assign that conversation.id. Alright, let's move on. And finally we need to fix that. This is the button, so I would say is dark mode is exist, BG, not BG, I'm going to use hover, BG correct 700, otherwise BG correct 300. Also I need to add the event on click. Also I'm going to pass in the element stop propagation function, right, but also I need to use curly bracket. Reason for using curly bracket, I will assign another function which is delete conversation, like this. Inside there I need to pass conversation.id. That's it guys for this. And this is a footer, so this is a clear all chat, and this is a conditional base. But before moving on down, I need to use is dark mode is exist. I would say border by 800 and border should be put 20. So this is a conditional rendering. Okay, and I would say conversations that length have a 0, then display that content. Alright, and also I need to assign the conditional based color combination is dark mode is exist, and I would say our BG greater 900, text should be red 400, otherwise text, not text, however BG greater 100, text should be red 600. Alright, so I think everything is perfect, and yeah, I think we are good to go to check it now. Right guys, I'm getting the result. As you can see, I can delete it, but I can't see clear all content inside there. I don't know why. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm getting that. Once it will complete the removing, and let's use it, and when I will enter the title, this title will apply on there, and same thing will be applied on there. But right now it doesn't work because we need to work on this one section, and yeah, so it should be store the data inside our localized storage guys. And let's look at that. Why this? Okay, I would like to use greater than 0, so it should be displayed. So I'm going to use that 1 2 3 4 5. When I click on it, it doesn't work. Let me check it. Why it's I need to remove all of the shades. Sidebar, clear all shades. It doesn't work. Okay, the problem is I need to call the function when user click on that, so the content should be removed from there. So let's add it on click, clear all conversation. Alright, so I think it should solve the problem. Let me click on it. Everything is clear from there guys. Okay, cool. Guys, we're gonna move on our next component, which is let me open where it is. Let me save it, and we can open the message list. All right, so this is our first conditional based, but before moving on that, I would like to get the is dark mode from where it is. Use theme custom hook, and the next I need to get that the get current conversation where it is, get like this, and is loading API key, and yeah, I think I need to check them. Is loading and API key, yeah, it's perfect. From use app, right? Then I would say const current conversation. I would get this one function and assign that inside the variable with the name of current conversation. Then I would say use effect, not use state, use effect when the page will be loaded, and inside the dependency array I'm going to use current conversation, select the message, not message, messages, comma loading. Means when this conversation dot message will be changed, this effect function will be executed. Okay, inside there I need to use, give me a second, const messages and ref, use ref, and by default I will assign the null value. I will assign it inside our application, but before moving on that I need to use the message and ref dot current tiny operator dot scroll into view. The behavior should be smooth, right? Message and dot ref dot current tiny operator dot scroll into view. Yeah, it's perfect. So let's uncomment it, and I would like to cut it, and I'm going to use if the current conversation or current conversation dot messages dot length have 0, then display that content. Why this is happening, guys? Okay, I don't know. That is a problem. Okay, I would like to use it in the top, guys. Alright, and also I need to assign the return. Okay, perfect. So this is our main and important part. So I'll use map method inside there. So what I'm going to do on there, I just cut it and what, yeah, I'm going to use current conversation dot messages dot map method message and paste the content. Okay, the first one is I need to assign that as a key is message.id, and this is a conditional based, so I'm going to use it message dot sender is equal to user. I'll assign the justify and Otherwise I would say justify start. Like this. Alright, so let's move on and let me check it. Okay, perfect. So here is the 85%, but also I'm going to use the same thing like the message that sender is equal to user. Then I'm going to use flex row reverse. Otherwise flex should be wrong. And same thing I'm going to do on there. So I would say message.sender is equal to user. Then I would like to use this one content. Otherwise I need to display that content like this. Why this is happening? Okay, so I would like to use div, guys. It should be solve the problem. Yeah. Why this? What is this? Is closing, and why I'm getting okay, perfect. So the user is message.sender is equal to user, then display these detail, otherwise display this one content. Let's move on, and here is a conditional based, so I would like to use message.sender equal to user, and also I'm going to use is dark mode is exist. So it's a bg value 600, text should be white. Otherwise bg value 500, text should be white. And also I need to use is dark mode is exist, and I'm going to change the bg gray 700, text should be gray 100, border gray 600, otherwise bg white, text gray 900, border gray 200. Right, so I'm going to save the file, and yeah, it's perfect. But last thing I'm going to add it, message.sender is equal to user rounded bar sm, otherwise rounded bar, not bar, bl sm. Okay, that's perfect, guys. So I'm going to add it the message, the text, and what is this is the date, but before using that I also must use message.sender is equal to user. So I'd like to use text value 100, and also add is dark mode is exist. Then I would like to use text gray 500, otherwise text gray 400. Okay, I think something is wrong. I don't know where it is problem. What is dark mode user is exist, then text value 100. Okay, is dark mode is exist. Okay, I need to use that, guys. Alright, so I need to display the date inside there. So in order to display the date, I'm going to use new date message.time stem to a local time string empty array, and I need to pass object base value 2-digit, and the next minute is 2-digit is best. So right now I am able to see only on the text, but I can't see. Also I will fix it, give me a second. I can't see the message. When I will send the message, I will display the content inside there. And let's let me refresh the page and let's see where its problem is. Message or list length 19. Okay, let's move on, and we're gonna find length. Okay, this is the function, guys. So yeah, and length current conversation. Okay, but this is not this conversation messages. Let me check it. Message. Give me a second. Why this is happening? I'm gonna refresh my page. Click on it. Yeah, it's perfect. Click on that. Perfect. Okay, I think we will work on this input field. When I will enter something, then we will fix the problem. All right, so yeah, we're gonna move on with this section, and we're gonna fix the issues if we will face it. All right, so guys, we're gonna work on the input field, but before moving on that, I need to fix this one issue. I think this is the problem is coming from the message. Give me a second, I'm going to show you. So here is I used message, so I just use on there is message like this. This is the problem. Okay, the next one is when I use the dark mode, I'm getting the text should be white. So I need to find out. This is I would like to use is dark mode is exist, then I would like to use text white, and the text should be gray, and same thing I'm gonna do on there. So I just get it and I'm gonna paste on there. All right, so let me open it. Yeah, great. Open that, close it. And the important thing is there are no any operation used inside the application, but the page is load. I move on application, I'm getting the values. As you can see, API key is coming from the local storage. Chat messages is also used. Role is a user, content is hello. By the way, this is my previous message, but I'm gonna refresh it. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm getting the sidebar by default. Theme is dark, but when I change it, it should be changed. When I change that, it should be changed. This is my API key, right? So I will use the ChatGPT conversation on later, but I need to fix the issues which are coming on my application, means the conditional based and what designing. And yeah, one more thing I need to fix it. Give me a second, I'll show you guys. So I used use ref, but messages and ref I do not use inside there. So what I'm going to do on there, I need to move on down. I used it scrolling. This is my scroll section. I need to pass it. Okay, it will help us to display the scroll. Great. Finally, we need to move on the input field. All right, so let me open the input field, close this one, open input field. So the first thing, I'm gonna get the dark mode. All right, const is dark mode from use thing. The next one is, I also mentioned that input ref, use ref, like this, by default is null. The next one, state input text set input text. Yeah, by default is false. The next one is, I need to destruct the values from my if context. So what I need, that active conversation, comma, is loading, and what set is loading also I need it. Then create a conversation, update, and get conversation, and also what add message, right, from use app. Okay, so I have a active conversation ID is loading, set is loading, create conversation, update conversation title, get conversation, add message. Okay, so yeah, I think it's perfect on there. So let's use the functionalities, then I will add the conditional based on there. The functionalities I will be used on there is handle message async function. Reason for using async function, because I will use the API. Okay, and I'm going to use if input text is trim, means remove the space, is not true, or is loading, just use return. Then I'm going to create a variable conversation ID with the name of let. Then I will use active conversation ID. I need to assign it. Reason for using let, because I will add it inside this one function. Okay, because I will use this one variable. So let me add if there are no any conversation, so I need to create the new conversation. So in case I just use conversation ID, I use if statement, then I need to get that conversation ID date.now .toString. The date.now .toString is give us the ID and assign the ID inside this one variable. All right. The next one is title. All right. So where you will get the title, input dot text, input text. This is a state which is coming from the top, like this, and I would say if greater than is 30, then I need to remove the text by using substring function 0 to 30, and also I need to add the concatenation, otherwise display only on the input text, input text state. Right, the next thing we need to use clear conversation function. Just pass it. You don't need to pass any parameter inside there, but in the update conversation function you need to pass two parameters. The first one is the conversation ID, and the second one is the title. The title is coming from there. Conversation ID also is coming from this one. All right, and let's move on. And after the if statement, create a new user. By the way, use a message object and assign the ID is a key. The value is date.now. all right, this is a key. The value is coming from this one function. This will give us the random numbers. The text is key. The value is input text, which is coming from the state. The sender by default is user. Timestamp, I will use timestamp new dat.to ISO string function. All right, okay, yeah. Then I would like to call the function which is add message. In the add message we need to pass two parameters. The first one is conversation ID, same ID, which is this, and yeah, the next parameter I need to pass it is user message, like this one. So these functions is coming from there. As you can see, add message, get conversation, update title have two parameters. So I have been using these functions on each component. I just pass the logics inside the functions. All right, so let's move on, and we can update it current com and get current conversation. What is the get what is the name? I did not get that. Yeah, I think I have used, give me a second, this is a mistake. Okay, so I don't know where I use it, but I will fix the problem when I will face the issue. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna use same thing, key current conversation function. And what is the next? If the current conversation is not true, or current conversation dot message, give me a second, I need to check it. Conversation find active conversation, and I would like to check the message here. I do not use messages. All right, so I will use the message dot length. So then move on there. I need to update the conversation, passing the two parameters, conversation ID, input text. Alright, then I need to reset the input field by using text. Set input text by default is nothing. Set is loading is true. Alright, okay guys, so we are almost done, but the last and final thing we need to do, use try catch block. In the try catch block you should be use error console.error sending message, and I would like to use error. Also I will use const error message as object based. ID is date.now, increment one value. The next one is text should be an unexpected error occurred, please try again. And the sender is assistant. I like to use assist. Timestamp, what timestamp? Also change it. Okay, timestamp date and not the new date function to ISS string, like this. And finally we need to call add message, conversation ID, and error message if we will face the problem to display the error. So I just call the same thing, add message, and passing the ID, okay, and error message which is coming from there. The last and final thing, where is the catch? This stripe block, this is catch. I need to use finally. In the finally I need to use set is loading once. So the main thing is type block, okay, then we will move on. In the type block, the first thing you need to use const current messages and call key, okay, current message, tiny operator, message, or empty array. Then const message, this is by the way messages I'm going to use on there, okay. I also mentioned that is dot. This is my new variable with the name of messages, empty array, and I'm going to make a copy of the current messages. Use map method to repeat the data, write the short name MSG, and I would say what, okay, role is, by the way I'm going to use role MSG dot sender is equal to user is exist to display the user, otherwise display the assistant. All right, content should be message text. I'm going to save the file. Outside of this one I need to assign the role that should be user, content should be input text, okay, like this. There we go, we are good to use the API usage on there. But before using API usage, I need to create a file. Give me a second. I need to create a folder, by the way, services. All right, in the services, so in the services I would like to create a file OpenAI service.js. The first thing you need to use const and open underscore API URL, and the URL is like this. Then I'm going to create a class with the name of OpenAI service. All right, and write the sync function, create a function name send message, passing the parameter message. I'm going to use messages, API key, and config. By default is nothing. All right, and I'm going to use try the catch block. In the catch block I need to use error. If we will face the error, then we will fix it. Console.error, and I'm going to use it. OpenAI API. I'm going to display error. Otherwise I need to use return success should be false, and error should be error dot message, otherwise message, otherwise I need to display the fail to send message. All right, in the type block I need to use the logic which will help us to get the data from the this one URL. All right, but this is the only on function. I will use it inside the input field, guys, on there. All right, so what I'm going to do on there, I'm going to use create a variable response, write the update, and use the fetch method. All right, in the fetch method you need to pass open API URL, which is coming from the top. The next parameter you need to pass is object base. The method you need to use post, and also you need to use the headers. In the headers you need to use content type. Use same spelling, guys. If you make any mistake, you will face the problem. Okay, all right, then I'm going to use authorization. Should be better, and I'm passing it as API key, which is coming from this one. Okay, let me check it. Authorization and variable. Yeah, so that's it for this. In the body I need to use json.stringify, passing the object base value. Model I would like to use config dot model, or the model should be ChatGPT 3.5 turbo. Alright, then the next, why this is happening, I'm going to use message comma. Okay, messages should be messages, which is as a parameter in the function. And the next one, I'm going to use max underscore tokens config dot max tokens 2000 token. Temperature config dot temperature, otherwise 0.7. If everything is perfect, then edit this message. Give me a second. Okay, outside of this one I'm going to use, if the response is not true, then I need to display the error. Wait, response.json and throw new error tiny.message. Otherwise I need to use API request file. Finally we need to use a few things. First one is const data await response.json, and just use return. Success should be true, and data should be data.choices and the index number 0 dot message and dot content. Alright, so this is our function and we're gonna use it. Also I need to use export default new open, so something like this. Alright, so I'm gonna use it inside this one file, and yeah, so let's see what is happening. Create a variable const response await, and I'm going to use OpenAI services, which is coming from this one file, and let me show you on the top. As you can see, OpenAI services, not services, this is a service that I'm going to call the send message. In the send message I need to pass 3 parameters, remember, messages, API key, config as object base. Alright, so I need to pass it as a messages, which is coming from this one variable. Alright, and next one is the API key, which is coming from my API. Where is my API key? Give me a second. I do not get that. Okay, I need to destruct the API key from there, guys. Give me a second. Okay, I need to get that and I need to pass on there, and I'm going to use it. And this is my API key. All right, and what is next one is object, config object. So I just use curly brackets. The model should be coming from config file. Inside that have open model. All right, and I will show you guys, give me a second. Config file have a model, max token, open API key, so I will use them. So model is config.openai model. Max token I'm going to use tokens. Max tokens should be config dot max token. All right, and temperature should be config dot temperature, like this. But why I'm getting the problem like this? Let's move on the top and let me check it. It is a sync function. Yeah. Handle message. This is the sync function. Okay. And I'm going to remove this one. Why this is happening on there? I'm getting that curly brackets. I don't know why I'm getting that curly brackets, not curly parentheses. When I save it, I'm getting that, but I just paste it and I'm facing issues. Let me check in the top. Services open, services config. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, let me check OpenAI services. I think something is wrong, guys. So this is a sync function. So guys, I think the problem, first I'm gonna show you a few things. So I've used that as a module, but I need to use model. All right, the first problem. The next problem is I'm using it like this. All right, so the data is perfect and we are good to go to use it. All right, and I'm able to see everything is great. Await keyword doesn't have any error inside there. Okay, so we are good to go to use it, guys. So finally I need to use if response.successes exist, then move on there, and I'm going to use AI message should be as object base. The ID is state.now and small character, and increment one value. Text should be coming from the response.data. This is a sender, should be assistant, and timestamp should be new date to assistant. Okay, and yeah, I need to use add message, passing two parameter conversation ID. Next one is AI message, and I need to remove it. And the else statement, I need to use error message. So I think I have used the error message someone on my file. So where I use the error message, let me check it, guys. I do not use it. Okay, yeah, here is error message. So I just get it and I want to paste on there. And also I need to use add message function, passing the parameter is conversation ID and error message like this. But inside the text I need to change a few things. First one is response.error and error. Please try again. Alright guys, so write this. Okay, I need to use comma and remove it. Okay, I don't need that. And guys, the last and final function we need to use handle key pass. If e.key, not API, just key, press enter, and not e.shift key true, then I e.prevent default and handle send message like this. Alright, the last and final one, I repeat the same word again and again because these are last functions. Okay, this is by the way last function. Okay, so last and yeah, the final thing, I need to use the logic inside there is a conditional based rendering, so we are good to go to use our application. So its dark mode is exist, then I'm going to use bgquery 800, otherwise bgquery 900. bgquery I would like to use border, guys. Get 800 bgquery 900, otherwise I need to use border query 200. bg should be white 50. Save the file and let me check the classes as well. Mix with 3xl mx auto. Yeah, here's a transition based, so I need to use dark mode is exist, bgquery 800, border with 700, focus, and within I would like to use border query 600, otherwise bg white, border query 300, focus on the within border query 400. Right, so yeah, perfect. And this is also conditional based, so inside there I need to use, but before, yeah, I'm going to use it as a document, then I'm going to use another things is exist, then I would like to use text should be white, placeholder query 500, otherwise text query 900, placeholder placeholder should be query 400. all right, and we are good to go, guys. But also we need to call the function and input value. So value is our input text, which is coming from the state. When I change the text, I would like to use event on change event, then I need to pass the value inside the set input text state, e.target.value, and also I need to pass references, which is input ref. I stored this one on the top, guys. Okay, yeah, let's call the function on key press and handle key press function, and inside there also I need to use on click, and I'm going to handle send message, and message, and also I use disabled input text, and the trim is loading. And this is also conditional based. BG white, text black, and how that BG should be gray 100, otherwise the BG black, text should be white, how that BG should be gray at 100. That's it guys. But also we're gonna use another things, these are very important. On input I need to use append e, and this is object based, e.target.style, e.target.style, and dot height should be auto, and the next one e.target.style.height, I'm gonna use it, math.min e.target.scroll height, comma 128 plus pixel. Okay, scroll height, let me check it, scroll, not scroll, scroll. Okay, and guys, I think we are able to use that. Okay, and also I am facing the issue on this is outside of there, but this is a designing issue, I will fix it. So let me open the new chat and write the hello. Okay, I'm getting the issue guys, so let's see. There are many issues. First I'm going to refresh it, and I'm going to hello, let me check it where the issue is coming from. The first one issue is ID app context, so we're gonna fix it and then we're gonna move on there. So let me where it is, app context, and 115, so I think here, so here is some issues. Give me a second. Conversation ID, title, phone ID equal to image. Let me check it, where is. Give me a second guys, give me a second. ID, I'm gonna find the ID in the small character. So add message, contact ID equal to conversation ID. This is a delete in hand, but I think the problem is add message here. Set conversations, views.map, ID. Okay, I need to use messages. This is also messages, and this will be message, but also I need to fix the messages with other one. Okay, I'm also getting the problem is ID. Let me check it. Okay, let me undo that. is update ID. Give me save, and in the update ID where's con.id. Make a copy, title at length greater than 0. Yeah, it is perfect, guys. Update conversation title. Yeah,